All right, everybody, good morning. Happy Sunday. I just wanted to go over a couple things today. This was kind of brainstormed with a conversation with a client that I had this past training week. And this client has done amazingly well in the last 9 or so weeks. They're down almost 13 pounds, which is fantastic progress. But when we trained earlier in the week, which was a couple days post Easter festivities, they were upset that they were up 2 pounds. I was not upset. I don't want to say that I didn't care, but I wasn't overly concerned, or I wasn't concerned at all about the weight fluctuations. That is normal. So weight fluctuations occur for a variety of reasons, and it is super normal. And I am going to tell you why and why not to get freaked out with that, okay? So I have a couple sponges up here showing my normal weight range over the course of a week or so for a variety of reasons. And as long as I'm in this range, I don't freak out. And I want you to kind of adopt that same mentality, which will alleviate a lot of frustration, a lot of feelings of not doing well, and what to look for so you don't get freaked out when this happens. My normal weight is about 189 to about 193. As long as I'm in that range, I'm not freaking out about it. I don't really even think twice about it. And unless I'm actively trying to gain or lose weight, like I said, I'm not worried about it. I feel good in this weight range. I feel like I have productive workouts, and I don't feel like I'm depriving myself or suffering, too low calories, too low carbs, or whatever the case may be. So my 189 weight is, let's say I'm doing everything right for the most part. I didn't have any extra treats. We didn't go out to dinner. I didn't order, a bigger meal or some extra calories or whatever the case may be. So the bottom end of my range is 199 or 189, excuse me. There are plenty of reasons why our weight goes up short term. And one of those is obviously if we just take a little bit of more water intake, all right? So if we take a little bit more water, increase our fluids, whatever the case may be, increase coffee, diet pop, whatever. People say, well, caffeine's a diuretic, how can that increase your weight? That is true, caffeine is a diuretic, but there is still a net increase in fluid intake. You can reach full hydration status, not that I would recommend this, but you could reach full hydration status drinking nothing but pop, whatever, diet, regular, or coffee. 8 ounces of coffee isn't going to cause you to urinate 8 ounces out, so there is a net positive increase in fluid. So increasing in water intake will cause a short temporary gain in weight. On the flip side of that, not taking in enough water, although it seems counterintuitive, could potentially also increase your weight. The body likes certain things to run certain ways, and there's a lot of checks and balances. You will not outsmart your body. If you take in less fluid, you will also excrete less fluid. So there is a small potential that if you're dehydrated, it could potentially cause your weight to go up a little bit. Increase sodium. If you have a high sodium meal, weight can go up. Crackers, chips, whatever the case may be. My weight's gonna go up, your weight will most likely go up as well. If you have a pretty intense workout and you have a lot of muscle soreness, soreness usually comes with edema. Edema is swelling. That is you retaining some water. It is not uncommon for me to be up 2 or 3 pounds following a productive and a heavy leg workout. That is absolutely normal. So if you're feeling super sore and your weight is up, it could be due to soreness, it could be from too much water, it could be from not enough water. Just understand that's a normal fluctuation, okay? Weight can go up if you haven't gone to the bathroom in a while. If you're not having enough fiber in your diet, that could obviously pose a problem, and weight could be up. If you're taking in more food than you usually do, even if you're still at the same calorie amount, if you're just taking in more volume of food, obviously whatever you eat is going to have weight to it in some capacity, that is going to go up, okay? But the big thing is typically if we're taking in more carbs than we usually do, most of the time this will correlate to an increase in calories from what you normally take in a day, but if you're taking in more carbs, that will definitely cause your weight to go up. And the reason for that is every gram of carb that you ingest will hold about 3 to 4 grams of water. Now, in a normal average size human, we are going to hold about 300 to 400 carbs in our body, and that's going to be in our blood, in our muscles, and in our liver. So those 300 to 400 grams that we're holding are going to hold about 12 to 1600 grams of water, which is then going to equate to about 3.5 pounds of weight. So if I'm being really good on Monday through Thursday and I'm hovering around that 189, 190, and now I take in some pretty high carb meals on Friday, Saturday, maybe Sunday morning, have a big pancake breakfast or whatever the case may be, I am going to be at the upper end of my weight limit, okay? Now, this is a 4-pound difference. If we want to keep the math simple, we are going to assume that a pound is equal to 3,500 calories, okay? It's actually a little bit more than that, but we're just going to say it's 3,500. So if I'm up 4 pounds, that is going to be 14,000 calories. Now, I can eat a lot of food. I typically don't get full very often, very quickly, but I can assure you that from 189 to 193, I didn't consume 14,000 additional calories. And the reason why I say additional is because I have something just like you guys called a resting metabolic rate. That means I am going to burn a certain amount of calories just being me, just breathing, just my heart beating, just normal daily functions keeping me alive, okay? Now, if I couple that with my workouts, any cardio, anything outdoors, whatever the case may be, that also burns calories, okay? So that means I would have to take in about 14,000 additional calories over, excuse me, probably the 2,000 calories a day that I burn anyways. So over a 3 or 4 day binge or whatever, that would be another 6,000 to 8,000 calories. That means over this stretch of time that I would need to consume about 20,000 plus calories. It's not happening, okay? So when these weight fluctuations occur, understand that if you're doing what you should be doing, following a reasonable nutrition plan, getting your workouts in, getting your cardio in, that this is going to occur and it's not to get freaked out about. Now, if you're always hovering in your range and you're not losing weight and the goal is to lose weight, then you're probably taking in too many calories. What typically happens is, let's say that I've been good all week and my high range is 193, okay? So Monday morning I start at my highest because I had a bad weekend or whatever, or it's the weekend, so we do whatever we want. So Monday morning I'm 193 and I start to burn some of those carbs up that are in the blood stream and my weight starts dropping. I'm utilizing the carbs, I'm getting rid of them, I'm getting some of the swelling down, whatever, and my weight starts to trend down. 193, 192, 191, 190, great. Now Thursday morning I'm 190, Friday I'm 189, awesome. Now I'm at a point where if I get more into a deficit and I continue this path, remember a pound of calories or a pound of fat is about 3,500 calories. So if I'm losing about 500 or if I'm putting myself in a deficit of about 500 calories a day, by the end of the week, I should expect to lose a pound. But typically what happens is Friday comes and people have that off switch where they're like, oh, I made it a Friday, let's go. I hate work, I hate my life, whatever the case may be. And now it's a free for all. So Friday comes and maybe Friday you go out to eat for lunch or whatever the case may be, or you get to happy hour and you have a bunch of drinks or chips or nachos, whatever the case may be, even a little bit more calories than you usually do, which adds up very quickly. So Friday comes, you're up a little bit. Saturday morning comes and you're like, oh shit, I really ate like crap yesterday. I don't care. I'm just gonna have, I'm gonna enjoy Saturday. It's the weekend, I deserve it, I'm going to enjoy it. So now weight goes up. Saturday night, you have a couple drinks, appetizer, whatever the case may be. And now Sunday morning, you're back at 193. Now you were just at the point where you were going to start to dip into your body fat stores. Now remember, body fat is calories that we take in that we haven't had a chance to burn off. So it's storage. So just like we want our bank account to accrue and get interest, the flip side with body fat is we don't want it to accrue, at least to unhealthy levels. So had I just been a little bit more diligent on Friday morning, I would have been, or Friday and through the weekend, I could have maybe tipped that scales down to 188 and a half or 188 and started a new range and then just kind of trend down. I would still have the fluctuations. I still might spike up, maybe not to 193, but I still might spike up to 192, and then my range might be 192 to 188. And then as time goes down, it might be 191 to 187. And I might still have that 3 or 4 pound range, but it's going to start trending lower in a downward direction. So if you can, and not have it mess with you mentally and be a big mind, you know what, if you weigh yourself every morning, first thing in the morning before food and after you go to the bathroom, you can take and plot your weekly average, and then that would take the little bumps and little deviations that are normal out of the equation and not have you freak out. If, say for example, Saturdays are usually my leg day. If I weigh myself just on Sunday morning, and we go out to eat and I have a leg day on Saturday night, I might have a 2 or 3 pound spike Sunday morning and never realize that I'm making progress. Whereas had I done the weekly average, there's a very likely possibility that I would be showing a 1 pound weight loss average plotted out and averaged out over the 7 days. But if I'm just taking that one moment in time, it's going to not give you the whole picture on maybe any of the good that you're doing. So if you had a crappy night's sleep, if you went out, like I said, and maybe had a couple beers or some pizza or wings or something that had a little bit more sodium or even a little bit more volume of food than you normally have, obviously those numbers are going to go up. And if you're not mentally prepared for it, you could be like, screw this, I'm doing all this work and I didn't lose any weight, or I gained a pound, or I stayed the same, or I did all of that work and I only lost half a pound. Whereas if you take the weekly average, you may be down 1.5 pounds and not have to make any changes. And I think that's what happens is people don't understand that weight fluctuations are normal, and they might have a week where they don't lose what they wanted to or what they felt they deserved or expected to, and then they start making some drastic changes, and then it becomes now something that is unsustainable, that doesn't make sense, that's too aggressive, whatever the case may be. Now, what can also happen is if I start slipping on my nutrition and I go from my good weight of 189 and I hit my weight of 193, my top weight, one of the things that happens is once this sponge becomes fully saturated, once my fat cells are completely filled with lipids from food and not burning off the extra calories I'm taking in, I just can't keep pouring water on this desk, right? I just can't keep putting fat in my body and not having it go somewhere. So what ends up happening is a group of new fat cells are created, and my new weight can be anywhere from 194, 196 plus, right? So if I overfill my current fat stores and this overflows, at some point I need more fat cells and I create those, okay? Which is not a good thing, because once you create those fat cells, they're there with you forever. It's easier to regain weight. And now I have a new range of body weight that has kind of been the new accepted norm, right? So instead of fluctuating from 189 to 193, I may fluctuate from 191 to 195, okay? So I hope this visual helps. I just want you guys and girls to know that weight fluctuation is normal, and if you can mentally handle it to weigh yourself every day, I think it gives you a better picture of what's really going on, and that the daily fluctuations will ebb and flow, and your highest highs will start to trend down and your lowest lows will start to trend down, and you should have a trend of the weekly average going down. That's normal. Like I said, there's a variety of reasons for weight to spike. I would not get freaked out about it. Just use it as another piece of the puzzle that you guys and girls are looking at. If weight is trending down and strength is going up, if you're getting less sore from your workouts, if your resting heart rate is going down, there's a gazillion things that we can show progress in, and that is trending in the right direction, to just get caught up on just the weight. But just realize that weight fluctuations are normal, that weight fluctuations are normal, that weight fluctuations are normal, and not to get freaked out about it, not to get discouraged about it. It's part of it. And sometimes weird things happen. I don't want to get too technical in this, but a lot of times when we exercise, we tell our body to, through a variety of hormones and chemicals, we tell our body to start using fuel. And that fuel is the carbs in our body, in our blood, and also sometimes the fat that we have stored. When we utilize up the carbs that are in our blood floating around, we have a tendency then to utilize our fat storage. Sometimes this happens in people where the fat gets released from the fat cell into the blood, which is a good thing, so that we can burn it up through our activity, through our exercise, whatever the case may be. Sometimes when the fat releases, water goes into the fat cell. There's no real good reason that this happens. There's no real good explanation for why this happens. It just does. So what can happen is you can be getting leaner, you can be losing body fat, but because your fat cells are now holding onto water, you will not see that scale drop. Usually this happens in people that are super stressed and have poor sleep. When those things rectify themselves, the body will flush. The technical term for this is called a whoosh, which doesn't seem technical at all, but that's what it is. The body will release the water from the fat cell, and along with that comes usually a 3 or 4 pound weight drop. It doesn't happen often, but it does happen. So if you've been very consistent with everything and you're seeing weight loss, you're seeing inches go down, you're seeing strength go up, and everything else is in a good spot, recovery, sleep, nutrition, low levels of stress, that could be happening. Like I said, it doesn't happen too often, so I don't want you guys to focus on that as much, but I do want you to get the gist of why weight fluctuations occur, and it's to be expected, and not freak out about it and not get discouraged. Be aware that if you reach the upper end of your weight and you create new highs, you're most likely creating new fat cells, which is something we want to avoid at all costs. All right, so hopefully this is helpful, hopefully this is beneficial. If you have any questions, feel free to let me know and I'll be happy to answer them.